So if you're familiar with EDM and its bloopy scoopy noises and fucked up basses, then you've most likely heard of Virtual Riot. Christian Valentin Brun is a 27-year-old producer out of Marls, Germany. Val actually had a few aliases before ultimately picking Virtual Riot: Key Generator, Chiptune, and the more popular Your Personal Tranquilizer. Over the next decade, it would be safe to say he would be considered a superstar. Virtual Riot has very many releases, his most notable one being German Engineering, and recently his 2021 album, Simulation. But like most people who come on here to talk about these things, I'm not here to talk about the good. I'm here to talk about the dirty. Over the last 2 years, this controversy has died down, so I feel like I could talk about it without getting fucking lynched or something. For those of you who don't know, Val's wife, Johanna Brun, also known more on the internet as Miss Nico, she would post something, I don't want to say shocking, I would say she posted something very surprising to the majority of people who saw it, but other than that, she got huge support on it, and it was the fact that she came out as polyamorous. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's when more than two people are involved in a relationship. Personally, I can't really fully speak on this matter as I'm not very educated about it. Yeah, and over the course of maybe a year or so, it's not something that I would say like put his life in a downhill spiral or ruined his life, but it is something that definitely affected Val over the course of maybe a year or so. But in an interview with Sidewalk Talk, he did seem a lot more comfortable to talk about it as compared to the last video, which I'm pretty sure is now deleted. You could just kind of tell that he was not really in the right mindset to really talk about the situation, as it was very sensitive, and me personally, I wouldn't be too happy with it, but that's not me, that's him, and I'm going to be as non-biased as possible when I'm covering this. So after that whole thing with JoJo and Val's wife and all that other stuff, over the next year, it started to calm down a bit, and it wasn't as talked about as it was in that moment. But in 2022, it actually went very, very much south, I would say. Very much south. Somewhere around this year, I think, Johanna would go on to claim that his manager, Ava, who was, his tour manager and at the time girlfriend, I think they're still together. She accused her of supplying him with ketamine, Xanax, and Adderall, just getting him addicted to that stuff, and also goes on to accuse her of animal abuse, which is no fucking joke, if you ask me. Oof. She would go on to state, "I can no longer be silent. She gave him Xanax for every flight to make him quote-unquote chill. This quote-unquote medicine illegally got from her drug dealer. Whoa. I kept silent as I was her friend, but I can no longer let this innocent dog be abused and in pain." Wow. And she would go on to tag the dog's account and her account. She would also go on to state, "She was my best friend, but I can no longer in good conscience let her abuse of Monkey Maximus go on, and I don't want my husband of 10 years, official Virtual Riot, to die because of her drug lifestyle / get him deported." So basically what she is insinuating here is that Ava's drug lifestyle would ultimately get him either killed or deported back to Germany, which I mean, yeah, I would be kind of worried about that too, but we'll just keep reading. She go on to say again, please help us all to help Virtual Riot get away from the drugs. She keeps on bringing to shows and airports. This could mean his deportation. She won't listen to me or friends or the label. Wow. So what she's basically saying here is that she wants the public's help. She wants the fans' help to get her husband off of drugs and shit. And she won't listen to her, the friends. She won't listen to Disciple, I guess. And it just seems like a very fucked situation. And it was alleged that not only was she using drugs to manipulate Val, but Ava's entire quote-unquote family of roommates, and that she would force feed them ketamine, Xanax, and Adderall for quote-unquote medical purposes. Medical purposes. There were also reports from people around Virtual Riot that he didn't seem like himself in recent shows, and that he seemed exhausted and unhealthy due to apparently a large amount of drugs supplied to him by Ava. Johan even went as far as calling Ava a severe drug addict, claiming that her drug of choice was indeed ketamine. It was also alleged that Val was also pressured into being in a polyamorous relationship to save Ava's dying relationship, apparently. And Johanna would also go on to accuse Ava's husband, Electric, of pushing her and giving her a bruise on her knee, apparently. She would go on to say that she was lying about the whole thing. But in the first place, it already seemed sketchy because the only person who side we really got to see was hers, and I can't really find any responses of these accusations, of these allegations from anyone else. So I feel like it's safe to say that it's two options. Either she's lying out of her fucking teeth for some clout, or she's telling the truth, and Val really needs to get away from these people. But, I don't know the full story. Nobody knows the full story. So far, it's only her side. And hopefully we can get a response about these accusations from maybe Val or Electric or Ava. One of the three. It's just her side isn't that convincing anymore. This is definitely one of those situations where it doesn't really affect what affects everyone, but it really mainly affects Val in this situation, and the only one being made to look bad is Val in this situation. And I really hope that what happened doesn't happen again, whether it be true or false. I hope the lie doesn't happen again. If it's true, I hope what Ava did never happens to a single person, because nobody, not even Virtual Riot especially, deserves treatment like that. And Ava, I'm not saying if you're an animal abuser or anything, but if you are a shit person, and it's just that. And if Johanna, if you're lying, you're a shit person. Val, I really think you need to go get some help before you end up killing yourself, because what situation you're in right now is not an ideal situation, and I really hope you can get some help, whether it be from your peers over at Disciple or just people around you that care. I hope there's people around you that care. And this has been your boy Snake. I'm signing off. No!